Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Club Live here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. We are live on YouTube and on X tonight. Get yourself subscribed to the YouTube channel. Get yourself involved in the live chat as we have a rather packed show. There's a number of things to speak about, which is good for podcasting, probably bad for what we actually have to talk about, though. I am Scott Carney, joining me tonight for a fully packed show. First of all, Scott Gemmell. Scotia, how are you, mate?
Evening, Carney. Evening, Ali. Evening, everyone. Yes, and all things considered, I'm all right. Personally, I'm okay. Rangers-wise, not so much, but I know bad. Yourself?
Yes, good, mate. Yes, good. End of week stuff. Busy. My Friday isn't usually a busy day. Those that have watched this podcast know what I do. I tend to have an easy Friday. Not today, man. My gaffer just kept throwing me couple after couple today. I was like, he's a break, man. But yeah, not. But I'm glad it's the weekend. Long weekend for me as well. Also joining us, Ali Pearson. Ali, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad. So I'm looking forward to Sunday with the Old Firm. But not really, to be honest. Had to spend the whole of this week, probably the rest of you guys, know you can, because you see lots of different people like me in your job, and obviously want to talk about Rangers and Bruges, etc. And I really didn't want to talk about it. So, yes, looking forward to talking about it.
Are you? Are you really? I'm trying to stay as upbeat as I can before we get into matters, mate. To be completely honest, I'm the same, mate. The amount of obviously, I had a wee bit of a dig at them for their disaster on Tuesday night, but I knew it was coming on my way on Wednesday. Didn't think it would be quite as bad as it ended up being, however, in terms of how poor Rangers were on Wednesday evening. But yeah, I mean, you've got to laugh while you can, or else we would all go mad. And yes, everybody sort of, Lynn, as you said, is Ross out trying to get some. No, I don't think so. I think Ross is a very busy man. He's a very talented man, Ross. So that kind of caught my eye there. Apologies. But yes, hello chat. Hello everybody. We've got a lot to get into tonight, so we'll just start. And it was difficult when I was coming on. I was thinking, where am I going to start tonight? I think we'll start with Russell Martin and gradually work our way through everything. I think that's the safest thing to do. Scotia, I'm not going to go over the game again, which is probably good news for you, even though your Wi-Fi was awful, but it's probably great news for you that we don't need to discuss the game. It's more the aftermath of the game, I think, that we need to speak about. I was speaking with Stevie after the game, and I'm not stealing his part here, but he made a very good point. Russell Martin has actually achieved something rather positive and rather spectacular, actually, is that he's managed to unite Rangers fans for the one cause of getting him sacked from his job, which I thought, that's a very good point, Stevie. Well done. So yeah, I wouldn't steal his joke, but yeah, he has made a good point. But the RSA, the fan advisory board, all call for Martin to be sacked, mate. The board back Martin, and they will be in charge for Sunday's Old Firm at the very least, which was kind of reconfirmed during the press conference that the owners do back Russell Martin, with Andrew Kavanagh making an appearance at Auchenhowie tomorrow, which was apparently planned. Are you shocked, Scotia? Are you shocked that Rangers have not decided, the board have not decided to make a move now?
Yes and no. I mean, I think he'll be gone after Sunday, if I'm being completely honest. But given the way that performance panned out on Wednesday night, I really thought he would be gone before the Old Firm game, to give us at least some modicum of hope of getting anything out of the game on Sunday, because I can't see it, and I'm sure everyone else is like exactly the same. Like you say that you spoke with Stevie there about reuniting all the Rangers fans, and yeah, it's totally right. I've not met anyone, spoke to anyone that's got anything positive to say about Russell Martin at the moment. It's every single person that I've spoke to is get him gone, and get him out the door. So, given the manner of the way we went out on Wednesday, you kind of were hoping that it would happen, but overall, I'm not kind of shocked. They've kind of got this week and a half period where it's the international break. Unfortunately, it's the international break after the transfer window just slammed shut. So any new manager, which we've been in this situation before, if it does transpire, where new manager comes in and it's with a selection of players that he hasn't really given I know it's not the manager, that it's the Elwell, who would probably speak about as well during the course of this evening. that it's him that gets the players, but it's it probably comes with the manager's sign off. Is the kind of final say. That's not a great situation to be in. We all feared this. We all said at the start of the season when Russell Martin got announced, we've got this fear. He needs to get into the international break, still in contention. We're getting considerably worse and worse each game we play. The players that are playing are getting worse and worse. And we'll speak about it if it's how much blamed if that is down to the players. But ultimately, when you're looking up to the person that's meant to be directing you, telling you what you want to accomplish, it's just not working with Russell Martin. And me personally, I would have had him out the door at half time, never mind full time, and never mind Monday, Tuesday, if at all next week. But hopefully, I say this, and I don't like folk getting sacked from their jobs and stuff, but he needs to go. It's just untenable now for me. I think there's no way that the sport's going to change back, even if he gets a win on Sunday, which I can't see. Even if that happens, it's just going to take one poor performance, one poor result, and everyone will be back on the other side of get him gone. There's no way back for him, for me.
I can't disagree with any of that, Scotia. I even with the board coming out and backing him, I'm like, well, that still doesn't excuse what we're witnessing with our own eyes, and I think it's a bold risk. My opinion is the board have decided not to sack him now, but they are going to have to sack him at some point. They're going to have to sack him. And I'm not talking 2 or 3 years down the line. I'm saying within the next foreseeable future, they are going to have to sack him because it's gone. It's far too far gone now. It's not even possible for it to come back, and especially with the things that are coming out with it around the club and that just now. I'm shocked that they've decided to double down on the manager. I am a wee bit shocked at that. Obviously, after Sunday, we'll need to wait and see. But Ali, when you put you kind of try and put a camera hat on and you think about the repercussions of sacking Martin just now, while this window's ongoing, while it's going to be extremely busy in this window for the next few days, there's no doubt about that. With ins and out, there's going to be a lot of movement, I think. It is a bit of a risk to them not have a manager or bring in a manager that's really had nothing to say, nothing to input on the signings that you are bringing in. So I can get it from that side of view, but that is the only bit that I can kind of gather of a reason to keep him there is because of the deals that are currently in play and these guys would be signing. Also, if you sack the manager and you are close to signing these players, the players that you're trying to sign is probably going to go, well, I'm not going to go there because it's clearly all going to change. So they wouldn't probably take that risk, I suppose. But what's your reaction on pretty much everybody saying that the manager should be sacked, but the board sticking with their man?
Yeah, the reaction from the fans and other fan media as well is we're all singing from the same hymn sheet in terms of after that he should have went. It was beyond embarrassing the other night. For me, he shouldn't have survived it. But I did say to Carney in the post-match when we did it, I didn't think he would be sacked. I think the board would sit down and probably look at Sunday. I know I kept saying about win or bust on Sunday. I'm on about win or bust in terms of the league, in terms of us wanting to compete with the league. But they're probably looking at it going, if, and it's a major if, because I'm in the same camp as Scotia, I expect nothing from us on Sunday. If Rangers do win on Sunday, the board will be looking at it going, right, well, we're 3 points behind Celtic. We've potentially got another couple of players in the door as well, which we'll potentially talk about tonight. And we're in the Europa League as well, with an international break to come. I was going to say, with 2 weeks on the training ground, could it get this team going? But it'll probably get even worse. But that's probably how they're looking at it. And we need to remember the board who is at Rangers at the moment, the previous board, I know the previous board dilly-dallied with sacking managers before, but they're not Rangers fans, if you want to say. They're businessmen. But Rangers need to win stuff for them to make money. But I just think they'll look at this game on Sunday. I'll be surprised if we get beaten Sunday, which I fully expect. I'll lay my cards right out right now. I don't expect Rangers to win Sunday. If we get beaten Sunday and he stays going into international break, I'll be worried then. The thing
You're
is,
not worried now? you,
Well, I'm worried
you know,
now. I was
you
worried
know what
weeks
he
ago.
did.
Worried weeks ago. But these guys are going to be in the stand, Karen, and Sunday at Ibrox. They're all going to be there. And I'll tell you, if it goes the way we all think it's going to go, I mean, we'd been at Ibrox when it was toxic. I remember the game at Aberdeen when Beale ultimately pretty much lost his job, and that was not a nice place to be, especially against Celtic as well. If it goes the way we think it's going to go, it will be a horrible place to be. And I think the fans will let them know. I think they'll let them know prior to the game. I'll be interested to see if the UB have got a ban or whatever. I did have a laugh with Paul at my work today because I thought the two sets of fans will both have a banner. Rangers will be sack the manager and Celtic will be sack the board because the two of them aren't very happy at the moment. But yeah, I just think they're sitting back and looking at this game on Sunday because, as I say, if Rangers win it, we're 3 points behind the league. If you look at it on paper, we're 3 points behind the league and we're in the Europa League. So that's probably what they're looking at. But as a fan here, I do not see anything under him at all. And he's waffling for me now. He's very similar to Clement when he was waffling, but it's even worse.
He is talking. He will come to it, mate. We'll come to it. He's talking some of rubbish. He really is, and he's fluffing truths is now bordering on lying as well, which isn't good. It's not a good state. I think he feels very safe in his job. I'm not going to lie. I took from his press conference today that he did feel pretty safe in his job, and I thought that's not correct. But yeah, as I say, it's. We'll come to that. We'll come to Raskin and that too. I promise everybody. But there is obviously quite a lot to get through. I can see people saying it in the chat. We will come to that. My biggest surprise is, like you were saying, they're different from the last owners, and they will be. They are businessmen, but the thought process behind keeping them until Sunday to see what might happen, and then if we do win, what does that say though? What does that say about the team? I don't think it fixes anything. I think I'll still stand by. I mean, he could probably win 5-0 on Sunday and I'd still go, but why have you not done that the rest of the season? You would then obviously give him the next game. You'd see, right, wait until who's our game after the Old Firm after the international break? Who we at home to? At home or Hearts? We'll get beat off Hearts, and then where are we? Do you know what I mean? Then we're exactly.
We'll get Hibs in the cup at Ibrox the following week.
Yeah, the following week. So I just don't think you can lay your hat on anything to say that. I mean, Rangers are not scoring goals. We're not even getting attempts on target. That's how poor it is, and I just don't see how Rangers can possibly even nearly pull out a result on Sunday. I know we've been labelled things to these players before, or they've raised their match for a big game. The players aren't there anymore. This is a different team. This is different players that are there, and there's nothing in it for me to makes me believe that Rangers are going to manage to pull off a victory on Sunday. I just don't see it happening. Scotia, are the board in danger of feeling the full wrath of the support if things don't go well on Sunday? I mean, honestly, they could lose every bit of credibility that they have, and if they don't know, they definitely will know on Sunday. Should Rangers lose an early goal due to us not coming out the blocks, not looking organised, the same thing that we've seen from this Russell Martin team time after time, the board are in real danger of becoming the next public enemy, if you like, because once we all decide the manager should go and he doesn't go, we then look for somebody else to go at, and the board will be next.
No, you're completely right. They will be, and if he's not gone by early next week, then I think the board will fully turn it to the board, and Stuart Thelwell, and it'll even turn to the owners as well, Kavanagh and the likes. It's getting ridiculous. It's getting to the stage I'm seeing so many people, and I'm even considering this as well, emailing Rangers and saying, you can take me off the CCSS thing, the continuous credit card scheme. You can take me off that because
You'll be dogs are my dears for that, Gamble. Christ.
Well, no, because the thing is,
but you're not going to get your final, mate.
You can still decide before the time passes for a season ticket holder to buy the ticket. So it's things like that, and I've seen quite a few people on social media saying that they've done that, and it's something that I'm seriously considering. It's I think what you'll see potentially, what I fear we're going to see on Sunday, is that stadium emptying. If Celtic go out and put a couple of passes early on, which they're fully capable of doing, even though they're like you say, Carney, they've not been great this season. We're worse. We are worse. We're terrible.
Yeah.
So That'll happen. So it will turn at the board. And in fact, it's already turning at the board slightly at the minute. Because the recruitment's getting, particularly, no, Thel's not on. Thel's not on the board, but it's getting levelled at him with the recruitment in terms of how we've done stuff. You asked last week about the spine of the team, and that's been hugely exposed this week. And it's only going to get worse because we're into these last few days of the transfer window and kind of rushing about for players, and it's never the best time. We all know this. It's never the best time, the last final few days of the transfer window, to chase about for players. And it's not. It's getting at the stage where it's like the season's already done. I know we'll probably come on to speak about like Europa League draw and stuff, but you look at that, what came out today, and any other time I would be like, that's a fucking cracking draw for Rangers. That's top 8. We'll be there. No with this team at the minute. So the board are next in line for some serious questions getting asked of them.
It's honestly some laugh. It really is, mate. And I completely agree. I seen the UEFA League draw, and generally, as unstaunch as this makes me sound, I generally went, I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. It's a really good draw for Rangers, yes, but I don't care. We'll come to it as well later, but I was like, I just don't care. It's not the news that we're all interested in right now. Ali, your thoughts on the fans' reaction that will be towards the board? I can't dread to think for 1 second that someone's not said to them, by the way, that you've stuck with him and you are going to stick with him. You do realise if they turn us over convincingly on Sunday, you do realise it's going to be you that gets it.
Yeah. If it's Andy McGregor in the comments, who I met when I was in Malig the other week. And I told you, it's in the comments, it's good to see again, Andy. We had a discussion about Rangers outside a wee coffee shop to the delight of my girlfriend at the time, who completely switched off. To go all the way up there, you'd think, Christ, to get away from Rangers, but no, you don't. No, good to meet you anyway. But I can, in terms of the fans on the board, and they're not stupid. They'll know. Of course they'll know. They would have heard the away fans, especially at Bruges, chanting, Martin, get to, and you know how it finishes.
France. France.
Yeah. So you'll they'll know. They'll know. They're not stupid. They'll know. But I think on Sunday, if they didn't know, Sunday's the big one in terms of the fans. We are going there in a hell of a mood, to be polite. And if it goes the way we think it is going to go on Sunday, if we ship a stupid goal like we usually do against them at Ibrox,
look sloppy, don't have any tempo, don't have any press.
The anger which is already there within the support will just erupt. It's there, it's boiling over. And that's why I think on Sunday it could be not a very nice place to be. I hope I'm wrong. I mean, I really hope this Rangers team all of a sudden bloody click on Sunday and we go, Christ, where'd that come from? But your eyes don't lie, as we say in this quite a lot, Carney. And I just can't see it. And yeah, it's the first time that the Rangers support have been unanimous on this. I mean, I'm looking at the chat tonight, Carney. I've not actually seen one person say about Russell Martin in terms of
seen one. I don't know where it was. I think it was Scott and
Celtic
Berlin.
Fan.
Scott and Berlin said he would give him till October and then judge him.
We've done that before with managers, and it's over by October.
And I get what you're saying. Remember Gerrard's start? I do remember Gerrard's start, but it wasn't this bad, mate. It was nowhere near this level. Like
he's got one of the worst records as a Rangers manager. 3 wins. What was it? 33% win.
And with Gerrard, you could see what he was trying to do, but you cannot see what Russell Martin is attempting to do. We are clueless. We are Ali's powder puff over the park. Ali's favourite word.
Well, with Gerrard, he identified us as a bit weak, got us more physical, but we're good off the ball and stuff, and you could see what he was building. This is the thing we said about Martin. If we could see what he was building, we could get behind it and take the pain that he likes to tell us about. But there's, as Scotia said to the getting worse week by week. There's zero in Friday. You'll probably come on to it. Tom English, I think, in the presser today, asked Russell Martin, what have you improved? And he said, ask people at the club or something, kind of And that
Because he couldn't. Because
he can't.
there's
He
nothing.
couldn't come out and go, I've done this,
No.
I've done that. He's made Jack Butland better. There you go. There's an improvement.
That's true. That's true.
But that's probably our back line that's made Butland better because he's had to save more shots. But no, it's going to be interesting Sunday, Carney. It's going to be an interesting next, whatever it is, 48, 72 hours in terms of what happens. But I think this result on Sunday will be a big... If we get beat, they'll have to hack the board. And if they don't, then I'll be extremely worried. And I'm worried now.
I don't even know what the word is if we get beaten Sunday and they don't sack him. At that point, I'm going, what is the point in this? I honestly do think, and I'm not a let's boycott, let's set fire to the world, set the pitchforks alight and charge on the masses, but you will just see Ibrox dwindle. You'll see it just fade away. People won't bother going because why would they? What's the point? I think the Europa League package will suffer. And maybe we've said it before the previous boards that the only way that would really hurt them is in their pockets, really, when we are not funding this. And you are asking, you're with not sacking them. Even now, you're asking us to fund this. You're asking us to fund this guy's whatever it is that he's trying to do. I think he's a lost man. I think the team's a lost cause. I think Russell Martin believes his own hype, which there is really none about. His arrogance is misplaced because he's not a very successful manager in any way, shape or form. And the biggest thing still comes back to Scotia is that we didn't want him. The fans didn't want him. None of us wanted this appointment. None of us were excited about this appointment. And when we think that we can see something and go, that's not going to work, and it doesn't work, then it makes us even more frustrated because we're like, we told you so.
Yeah, no one wanted him. And I was at the start of the season, and I said when I first came back, I was like, right, he's here now. I'll get behind him and support him.
As you do, yeah, as you
can't. You can't, because we've mentioned it, and we'll probably keep repeating it. It is getting worse and worse. He's making players worse. He's coming up really confusing. Changes that he's making in game, or changes to starting lineups that he's making, playing new players out of position, already getting their confidence down, bringing them back. It's just all over the place from him. I think he's completely lost the dressing room just looking from the outside in. Even the players that he might class as part of his core group, because obviously that seemed to be like Dowell was maybe one of those players that was kind of Martin's man, but he's been completely put to the wayside at the minute, and hopefully
it's
that way. Because if I see him,
yes.
if I see him in that starting line,
I think he's injured. Dowell. I think he's injured. Yeah.
Well, he was, according to Russell Martin, everybody's in training, but everybody. That's what he said.
You'll probably get to that because I've seen some of the releases that came out over the past hour and a half there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there's not more I can say without repeating myself. It's miserable right now. It's horrible. And Ali mentioned the point there about how toxic it could be in Sunday there. Ali, you obviously couldn't make the home game against Bruges, but Carney, you were there, and
it was horrible.
It was toxic. It was horrible for a period in the first half there. Like, it was making me my skin itch. It was that bad. I didn't like it.
And people left as well, which could happen on Sunday as well if it goes the same way.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right, Scotia. It was extremely probably the most uncomfortable I've ever felt in Ibrox, to be honest. I was like, this is horrible. It was not a nice place to be. It really wasn't.
It was worse than like the when Celtic were pumping us 5-0 at Hampden and stuff like that. It was worse than that. To me, it felt worse than that. I was obviously gutted and raging at the time, but it wasn't the same kind of, this is horrible kind of feeling.
Yeah. I absolutely agree, mate. It was not a nice place to be. It really wasn't. We'll move on to Nico Raskin now. Obviously, the rumours continue that he's going to be moving on before the end of this window. Russell Martin in his press conference, they didn't deny it, but neither did he confirm that he was going to be sticking around. But just before we came on there, Sky Sports had reported that Raskin, and the Rangers Review had reported that Raskin trained away from the first team during preparation for the Old Firm. Ali, I was thinking that's Russell Martin forcing that guy out, but Ryan, old friend of the pod, made a point that Raskin's maybe played things in his own favour here by working his move out the club. He's always said he wanted to move on. He hasn't signed an extension to his contract, so maybe he's maybe he's just looking out for number one right now. I'd be gutted to see him go, mate, but the fact that he's training on his own and he's not going to be in the squad for Sunday, it looks like then you would like to think that that's probably the end of Nico Raskin at Rangers.
Yeah, and if that's the truth, and when Haymarch put that into the chat, I got what he was saying to a point in terms of if he's not going to sign a contract, and we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. But
No, we don't.
But it's another sad way in terms of, obviously we'll probably come on to Egeman as well, the way Egeman's left as well, in terms of the way he's gone. And now Nico Raskin looks like he's going a potentially same way here. He's been kind of frozen out by Russell Martin. Interesting that, I know you'll come on to the presser, but when he was asked about him in terms of is he in the team, and he dilly-dallied around it and said he's at training. Well, technically, he's maybe correct because he is training, but he's not training with the first team. So,
no.
He'll probably make himself look a bit stupid when it comes to Sunday and the team comes out and he's nowhere to be seen. But it's a shame. I don't think he's been great this season, Nico Raskin. But then again, nobody's been great at all. I think Jack Butland's probably the only pass mark you can give. Gassama to a point as well, but the rest of them, including Raskin, I think he's been poor, but he's better than Rothwell in the middle of the park. He adds more energy. I felt sorry for him at times this season because Martin likes Rothwell. He plays with the six, and I just thought Raskin at times was in that midfield, and he just didn't look comfortable where he was in there. I prefer him playing as a six. He would be my six against Celtic tomorrow on Sunday. Sorry. And Rothwell being the bench for me, but obviously that's not going to happen. But it's a shame. And what we get for him, I don't know. I see he's been called up to the Belgium squad tonight again, but teams will be looking at it now going, well, Rangers are frozen him out. There's only a couple of days left in this transfer window. The money that we may thought we would have got for Raskin at maybe the beginning of the transfer window, we probably won't get now. Interesting how he goes. Will he go out maybe on loan to a team with an option to buy or an obligation to buy or something? I don't know. It'll be interesting. I've seen Wolves were interested in him, but they can't take him because of their quota. Is it non-English players or something? I don't think they can have him. So it's an interesting one, but it's a sad one. But when his dad came out the other night and absolutely slaughtered Russell Martin, I think that was a telltale sign that he was away.
Yeah, yeah, it is what it is, I suppose, isn't it? Like, if that's the way that you're going to do it, that's probably all work through agents and whatever else about how to Riesling say certain things. Scotia, I mean, it's not a great look, really, but at the end of the day, as somebody made the comment there that I put up on screen, can you really blame Egeman and Raskin right now for wanting out of this? This is clearly not going to improve. The board are not acting. I know they would almost be doing a disservice to us by just sitting and waiting until the manager does eventually get sacked, which is going to happen. We all know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. But Raskin's move out the door, he's not signing the new contract. You've got to try and look at it in the most positive way you can, I suppose. I'm gutted he's going because I can't believe that we're going to continue the season with Rothwell. I would have done anything to try and keep Raskin at the club. But he has always said that he was wanting to play in a bigger league than Scotland.
Yeah, that was one of the first things he said. I think did he not specifically mention Chelsea when he first came in the door? I seem to remember he mentioned
Chelsea,
them. With the Raskin one, I'm pretty sure I said it on one of the early pods at the start of this season that if he's not going to sign the contract extension, he needs to go this window because we need to kind of make the money. But you'd be disappointed because, like some of the comments have said, there is. I would quite like to build a team around Raskin with the way he performed last season, second half of last season in particular, when we were not doing great, but he kind of got the team rallied up a wee bit to some extent. It's a disappointing one. And looking at it, this is one of the problems, right, with Raskin and Egeman. These are players that are too good to play in Scotland long term, right? They're too good. They move on to bigger and better things. We've seen this with quite a few of the loan signings that we've had. Tillman, clearly, we had an option to buy him, first option to buy him, and Tillman was like, I don't want to play in Scotland. He can't see it progressing in his career. Cherny was probably the same. Sima, possibly the same as well in terms of, they fell in love with the club and stuff, but is this the best place for them to develop their football? And now the problem we've got is the players that we do have, not on loan, permanent signings, are playing for a team where they don't take on what the manager's saying. They've completely lost faith in the manager. The fans are all poor. We've got nothing to kind of hang on to in terms of good performances. So why would you want to hang around? So it looks likely that he probably will be away before the window closes on Monday night. It would be good if we could keep a hold of him, but I can't see him signing a contract extension between now and January, unless something changes immediately. And even then, that's asking an awful lot, because I think Raskin himself, and maybe us as well, thought there would be more solid bids in for him. Now, maybe there's been bids in for him, but it's been below our valuation of the player. But I've not really read anything in the press or on social media about that. So maybe some clubs are just hanging around until January, because you'll get him on a completely cut price deal come January, rather than having to pay maybe through what they see is through the nose right now. But it's got, and it's well, the biggest issue as well is because if Raskin had went, he would have went with my best wishes and stuff, but it would be because we've got someone that can maybe not replace him as such, but can come in and do the job. We've not got that right now in Joe Rothwell, so it's a bit of a gutter, to be honest.
It is a gutter, and I see Andrew Gill saying Igaman refused to play. Are people okay with it? Yeah, I get what I said there, but I don't blame for Igaman and Raskin for wanting to move on. The way Igaman did it is disgraceful. It really is disgraceful, and it should never be accepted. The way Raskin's done it is probably as fair as it could possibly be. The guy obviously wants to move on. There's obviously an offer on the table there that he's wanting to take, and he wants the club to take, and that's the kind of situation that we are in now. At the end of the day, he's not going to be involved in Sunday, which is the biggest game of Russell Martin's career ever. Literally ever, including any club that he's ever been at before. Sunday is the biggest game that he will probably ever be a part of going forward. But if Raskin's not going to be involved in that, who's arguably probably our best choice in the midfield just now, then it seems to be that he will be moving on, and we'll have to suffer Rothwell walking about the pitch again on Sunday, which I can't wait for. Can't wait to watch that. Ali, on to Igaman. He has left. He's went to Lille. We all knew that was happening. No real shock in that whatsoever. The club announced it. Wished them all the best. Cheerio, bye-bye, Igaman. You'll not be welcome back anytime soon. That's for absolute sure. The mysterious release clause that appeared in his contract for $10.5 million. Maybe there's one for Raskin as well that we don't know about. Maybe there's a mysterious one just been added to his as well. Who knows about that? But Rangers are now linked with Miovski, mate, a player that me and you have spoke about previously on the pod during his time at Aberdeen. I liked him then. Obviously, he's went away and it's not really worked out for him. But Rangers are very close to announcing him by all reports. It looks like he's passed his medical and we're just waiting for the pictures, really, more than anything else. I liked the player then, mate. Yes, mate.
Just on that, I've seen a few tweets recently from like Heart and Hand and Sky Sports and things like that saying that they're looking to announce it in the next 24 hours, probably tomorrow. Right. So it's then all a case of if that's put through clearance before they get in time for the game on Sunday. So SFA, SPFL, get your spam folder checked.
Yes, check your spam folder. If you know, you know. But you would like to think we can get that deal over the line then before Sunday. Ali, I'm not sure if he fits this Russell Martin team. However, I don't know what player does fit this Russell Martin team, because I don't know what Russell Martin is trying to do. But I think if he comes in, I think he's in for a massive debut, mate, because I reckon he goes in and starts on Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know how long we've talked about Miovski in this podcast. Over a year, I think. Since he was at Aberdeen, he was the one striker we said, go and get him in a minute. Getting him off Aberdeen, they would probably want, I know they sold him for $6 million Aberdeen, they would have probably wanted more from us to go and get him at that point. The fee that it looks like we've got Miovski on looks a good deal, cut price deal, with add-ons, etc. But he's a guy, good age, knows the league. I liked him when he was up here. And even when you talk to Celtic fans, reasonable Celtic fans, they'll say he's a good player and they wish they got him. And you can tell by a few of them say, why didn't we go and get him? I think he's a very good option for us. I liked him at Aberdeen. He scored goals against Celtic as well, which is always good. I just thought he was quick, he was physical, very good goal scorer, and I think I could see him in this Rangers team. I really could with Ant-Man and Gassam either side of him. I think that could be a very good front three for Rangers. So yeah, if as Scotia says it looks like we're about to get the pictures tomorrow probably, but if he's ready to go, I think he's played one game for Girona this season. So he's obviously had a pre-season, and like I say, he knows the league. He's played Celtic. Throw him in, and I know Desser's maybe ready to start on Sunday, but I would start with Miovski. We put Ant-Man in against Pilsen, I think it was, and he was only in the club for 20 minutes, whatever it was. So
and then Russell Martin coached them. So you would. I'd prefer if Miovski. I would prefer if Miovski arrived on Sunday morning. If he arrives on Sunday morning, then we're in for a chance of him having an impact like Ant-Man did.
Wheel him in a freezer so he doesn't need to speak to anyone, and we'll just open the door and let him go. But Miovski, for me, he's got to start. We need something to get us going as a support as well. And I think if Miovski was on that team sheet come Sunday, I think that would give us a lift, Carnies, as a support. I'm not going to say we're going to win the game because Miovski's playing up front, because he needs a service, and Christ, we've been dreadful at this season, but I think he would give us a wee lift. And yeah, I think he'd be a very good signing for us going forward. Like I say, we've banged the drum about him, Carney, for the best part of over a year. We even said it beginning of this pre-season. We said we'd go and get Miovski. So hopefully somebody at the club has finally watched the podcast and they've seen us banging on about Miovski, and it's finally done. You know what'll happen, Carney? Because we've been banging on about him for so long, he'll come to Rangers and be an ultimate flop, won't he?
Yeah, and I'm not stealing the Wolves comment here. What I was going to say, all that Danilo starting Sunday and Miovski will start in the bench.
Oh, you're having a laugh. If Danilo's starting, I'm going back down the stairs.
Scotia, your thoughts on the Miovski, the imminent arrival of Miovski?
Yeah, similar to yourself and Ali in terms of, he looked good when he was at Aberdeen. Could work well for us. One of the better players in the SPFL that I've been kind of going about. I get why we probably didn't go for him at the time, because like you mentioned there, Aberdeen quite rightly would want a bigger cut of money if they were selling to someone in the same league as them. So yeah, that's all good. But then also, Carney, similar to yourself in terms of, he looked good for Aberdeen. What's he going to be like in this Rangers team? So not in as well, not even just in this Rangers team, but any player that moves to Rangers, it's how they get in and how they fit into the culture of the club and stuff, and how they handle the expectations and things like that. That can always be something. But then right now we're also dealing with this crisis where we're a complete bin fire. And how does that work for him? Hopefully he can hit the ground running and continually hit the ground running rather than what we've seen from Ant-Man and what we've seen from Giga. Yeah, it looks good, but it's probably a signing we needed to make earlier in the window. I don't know if any of these late signings have been held off and they're waiting to see what the outcome would be in terms of what European competition we're going to be playing in. But he's one of maybe two, possibly even three, because there's still rumours going on about Dessers of strikers that we need in. So hopefully it all works out well. But like I say, there's always that wee bit of trepidation in terms of a player coming into this club. How does he fit the system? And when he was playing for Aberdeen as well, although some playing against the low block that we'll come up against, although that might not last long if we continue to play like we're playing, and Scottish teams will just let's just go for Rangers because we can get at them. But hopefully it all works out good.
Yeah, and another one that Ali, you looked into more than I did, mate. I didn't have a chance tonight after work. Derek Cornelius set to sign Canadian, and is he an international for Canada? Has he played for the international team? Yeah. If not, they'll correct me. Tell us a bit about him, mate. You've obviously looked into him a little bit.
I just briefly looked at him before we came on here. Left-sided centre half, which has been bloody crying out for, because we seem to be looking at right-footed centre half. So
are we signing him or are we loaning him?
Oh, I don't know. I've not actually looked into that. I would like to think we're signing him. I'd take
35 caps for.
Yeah, so no, he's played a lot of games for Malmo as well. Malmo are a good team as well, physical too. and then he's went to Marseille, wherever he is at the moment. So
signing supposedly for $3.5 million.
Yeah, so on paper and looking at the YouTube clips, he looks decent. He looks what we are kind of looking for. We need the balance on that side of the defence, and it's not worked at all this season. No. He's been through umpteen different pairings at centre back in terms of Giga, Suter, Fernandez has been in there. So yeah, I think this boy will come in and he'll play. So it'll be interesting if we get him the same time as Miovski. Does he fling him in? I don't know if he would fling two of them in, but yeah, he ticks the boxes for what we're looking for because we're in dire need of a commanding centre half, especially on the left side. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see him come in, but he ticks the boxes looking at him so far.
Scotia, I think we just want a wee bit more experience and a proper signing in the back line. I don't think that's too much to ask for, is it? Just not another lone player that's only played 3 games in the past 4 years.
Yeah, no, it looks like a good signing on paper. Like you say, he's at a decent age, 27 years old, so he does have that bit of experience. Played obviously with Malmo, played with Marseille, been about in Germany. I think he's played in USA. I think it was at Vancouver he played for, I think, in the MLS. So I know Vancouver's in Canada before anyone said anything. But yeah, well, yeah, looks good. Decent caliber. I would like this. The one thing I don't want to happen though is it to be another loan signing, because then that'd be another defender on loan. Although at the minute, one of the defenders on loan, who we've not mentioned at all yet so far, I would be sending him back down the road to Bournemouth if it was me. But I wouldn't like another loan signing at the back, because I mentioned to you, I think I've maybe mentioned in the pod, the loan players and Suter and Tab both coming at the end of their contracts. We're at the stage where next season we'll need a complete rebuild of the back line.
Yeah. You're right. I was leaving Orange because I'd imagine we'll speak about him a wee bit when we're doing our starting 11 predictions, basically. AXZ, thank you very much for the £5. Very much appreciated. The guy set his back more than Beale. I just don't understand how he can be so bad and yet so confident. I mean, maybe it's his missus. He's got a tidy missus, so he must be thinking he's doing something right in life. There's nothing I can think. And Blue Jay as well, thank you so much for the $4.99. Say we play well and beat them 6-0 on Sunday. Should Martin still win a job Monday morning? For me, not a chance. Yeah, for me, not a chance as well. It just papers over the cracks, in my opinion. I think it's almost counterproductive for Rangers to win on Sunday, even though, of course, I want Rangers to win on Sunday. I always want to beat them. But I think it is almost counterproductive. It really is, because I don't want them here. I don't think many of us do. So yeah, guys, you on agreement with that? You still in agreement with that? That even if we win on Sunday, you still think Russell Martin should be sacked, whether the board choose to do that or not. But if he wins, I don't think it changes much.
No, I just think it maybe buys him more time.
For you or for the board?
Not for me. He would need to beat Celtic and then go, when we come back and play Hearts, go on a run. And when I would say a run, win all the games up to Christmas time, if you want to say. Yeah. Do I see this Rangers team doing it? No, I don't. So no, it's like I say, I would get rid of him after the Bruges game. So I've not changed my mind yet. I hope he does change my mind, but no.
Scotia, a miracle does happen on Sunday and we do all of a sudden look like Barcelona or old Barcelona. Does Russell Martin deserve to stay, or do you still the opinion that it's only a matter of time?
No, I think he needs to go, regardless of the result or performance on Sunday. Like I said, he's got to, and we've said this with other managers as well in the recent past. It's gone, and it just takes one more bad result, one more bad performance, and everyone's back wanting him out again. It's difficult to say. He can't speak for everyone, but I think a vast majority of the Rangers support would feel that way, that he just needs gone regardless, because what we're getting... I've not watched today's press conference, I've just read bits and pieces of it, and it feels like he's lying to us in certain things, and he needs to go for me.
He's a waffling liar. So that's what the conclusion we've came to tonight about Russell Martin, that he waffles and he lies. Not great. Quickly, I'll run through in case you haven't heard it, I'm sure you all have, who Rangers got in the group stages of the Europa League. So Roma at home, Porto away, Braga at home, Ferencvaros away, Ludogorets home, Sturm Graz away, Genk at home, and Brann away. It's really one of those things that will cross the bridge when we come to it. I think, Scotia, I know you mentioned about the draw being pretty favourable. It is a good glamour tie with Roma being at home, Porto away, a tough one. Under usual circumstances, the rest of the teams I would fancy Rangers to give them a game. It's just right now we don't know what we're going to be seeing or what we're going to be witnessing. But on paper, even if it's a decent draw for us.
Yeah, I mean, we drew the two, what you'd probably say the two most difficult teams in pot one to play against. I've seen someone mention in the comments a lot earlier on in the show. At least, thank God, the Roma game's at home and no away in Rome. That would be interesting. That would be an awful lot of work for the SLO and Rangers security team and things like that to do, I think, if that was to go ahead. Yeah, good on paper. The teams in pot 2, 3, and 4, yeah, that's more favourable. Could have been a lot tougher. All the away trips look fairly decent away trips. That Porto one's very intriguing to me. That's maybe one worth when the fixture list gets announced either tomorrow or Sunday. So even that's maybe one that we could maybe look at going to, lads. I don't know. I know we've not spoke about it, but just putting that out there in the air. But like you say, Carney, it's right now we would get horsed in the Conference League. We're getting horsed in Scotland. We'll get horsed in the Conference League. So we need to wait and see. Wait, and hopefully the change that we want to gets made, and then we can look more forward to the Europa League games, because Thursday nights at Ibrox over the last few seasons have been very special.
Very special. Ali, when Scotia came back, I thought he was going to bring back the positive kind of uplift that we needed on this pod, but Russell Martin's broke him. He's absolutely shattered them to pieces. What's your thoughts on the draw?
I thought it was a decent draw. I was looking out for who we got away, because I know we've discussed this season about doing an away trip. I know we didn't do during the qualifiers, and we thought we'll hang off and see who we get in Europa League, because you've kind of got a choice of where you want to go. Out of the teams who've got to go away, Porto probably got a better chance of getting a ticket, because their ground's 50,000 or something, and you get 5% of the tickets. I think all the other grounds are 15,000, 20,000 or something. I know one of the teams is Budapest, a cracking city. But I'm with Scotia. When I seen it out today, and I even said to my girlfriend, I went, Porto was the one that said to me, I've been to Porto, a cracking city, brilliant city. That's probably the one I would lean to go to. So, Scotia, I'm on board with you for Porto. So get your bags packed.
Okay, well, I'll just need to ask permission, but I'm sure I'll be all right. I'll just say, look, it's still Ali's 40th. So I'll say, still Ali's 40th. Like, surely we can. I'll need to go. I'm going to need to go. But I say that is what we say. We'll very much cross that bridge when we come to it, because bigger fish to fry indeed. On Sunday, as the first Old Firm game of the season is upon us. Scotia, it really is impossible to try and predict anything about what we're going to see on Sunday. Nothing would surprise me. Generally, nothing would surprise me. However, based on evidence and based on the feeling of us as fans, it certainly doesn't feel like there's an Old Firm just round the corner. I think we feel, as a support, that we're going there to watch a story that we've seen already 9 times this season.
Yeah, not looking forward to it at all. And it's not it is kind of out of fear. It's just, I'm getting to that stage where I'm getting apathetic with Rangers right now as well.
Absolutely, mate.
Like you say, Carney, they're slowly breaking me. They're breaking me. Not looking forward to it. Guy I work with, Celtic fan, and actually a good Celtic fan that you can sit and actually have a proper conversation about, and he doesn't talk nonsense. Said after the results midweek there that it'll be a strange game, and I was like, no, it won't be. Usual still scud us. I mean, we are completely listless at the moment, and I will be shocked if they don't scud us. Just based on what I've seen from this Rangers team so far this season. Not looking forward to it, and I can imagine, I've got it in my head already that I'm not staying the full 90 minutes because it'll get unbearable. That's how unconfident I feel about going into this game. Usually going into Old Firm games, even when we just came back up from the lower leagues, I would go in with a wee bit of confidence, looking, like you said, positivity and stuff, but no, I've not really got that at the minute. So apologies.
I don't really think you need to apologise, mate. I mean, I think it'll get to Sunday morning and I'll be like, you never know. That's the old thing I'll always come over the top of me, but I don't think I'll have my usual pacing about the house waiting for Ali to pick me up feeling on Sunday morning, which usually tends to happen. Ali, it's stick or twist really in Sunday. I mean, you can't even call it the last straw. We've gone past that. We've lost the straw, I suppose. I think that's where we've got to now. Russell Martin, there is no way around it. He has to win on Sunday. It has to be a performance that we can see something in. It has to be a complete change of the pattern that we are following just now, of this tepid, no idea, no shape, no real attacking intent, no high press, none of that. If we start the game as flat as we've started day 2 games as we did against Bruges, they did back-to-back against Bruges, we'll get torn apart, because they're coming off a dodgy result as well. Don't get me wrong, I think it's their worst European result of their history during the week. So they're not, they won't come licking their wounds, mate. They'll be smelling blood, because they know the state and they know the feeling around Ibrox just now. They know the way the fans are feeling, so they'll be coming to have a go at us. If we're not prepared for that, and if these players can't respond to this and can't get themselves up for that, and Russell Martin can't get them up for this, then again, for me, he will just highlight in big bright lights that he's not the man for the job.
Yeah, for Russell Martin, it's a must-win for Russell Martin. A draw's no use. He's got to win it. And I spoke to a few Celtic fans, and similar to Scotia, they're not overly confident. But I say to them, have you actually seen Rangers this season? I mean, I've not seen Celtic this season at all, so I can't really make a judgment on them. I've not watched them at all, so I just go by what folk I speak to at work say, that they've not been overly great. But as I always say to them,
I watched their first half against that Kazakhstan mob on the first leg, the one that was at Parkhead, and they weren't very good. But again, I can't really say that. Again, I'm saying that very cautious, that I live in a glass house and I shouldn't throw stones.
But as poor as they may be, Celtic, we are absolutely shambolic at the moment. I mean, I reckon I could get 11 of us to go and play Rangers on Sunday and give them a good game, to be honest. But Celtic know how to win. I know folk look back to the last season in terms of Celtic struggled to beat Rangers, etc. This is a completely different Rangers team. There's hardly any players that will take the field on Sunday that were part of that Rangers team last year. Probably maybe Diamande and potentially Tav if he maybe starts, and even Butland wasn't getting a game at points last season against them. So it's a completely different team. So Brendan Rodgers will be confident. He'll know how to play against us. Brendan Rodgers is a decent manager, he is, and he'll know how to play. He'll be watching us and he'll know how to play against us. Celtic have played 3 games in the league this season. They've not been overly great, but they win. They know how to win. I've said to Celtic fans who've been moaning this season about, crap to watch and all this, I said, I'd love to be in your position. 9 points out of 9. I know they're not been pretty. They've conceded no goals in the league. And I know they've not scored many goals, but they've not conceded at all, and they're coming up against an extremely powder puff Rangers front line. I go into Sunday. Usually you get a wee bit of battle fever, if you want to say, Karen, in the morning. But no, this is, and we've been into a lot of dead rubber Old Firms in previous seasons where it's meant nothing. We've actually ended up winning some of them, but in the grand scheme of it, it's meant absolutely hee-haw. This one on Sunday, I don't see anything from us. I really see absolutely nothing. And when we come on to the teams and scores, I'll give you what I think is going to happen. There's no point me sugarcoating in this podcast, me predicting a Rangers 2-3-0 win when I no, that's definitely not going to happen. So, yeah, I'm not looking forward to Sunday. I'm not looking forward to the atmosphere at Ibrox being toxic, and everything else that comes along with it. I just hope these players, and he talks about it, I'm sorry for rambling on here, Carney, but Russell Martin, he waffles in the press conference. I'm sick of him talking about how the team runs hard for him. I've not seen any of this in games running hard. They look lethargic. So he said all he's got to say in the press conference. He's waffled a lot, but he said they've got to do their talking on the park on Sunday. Rangers, well, let's bloody see it on Sunday, because if we don't, time's up for him.
He's gaslighting fans now. He's trying to make us believe we are seeing something different than what we actually are. And yeah, it's just a guy that was lost. He's actually just lost, and the pressure of the job, the size of the job is just simply too big for him. It is really as simple as that. Gordon, thank you very much for the super sticker, mate. I hope you're keeping well. Thank you very much for that. Generally appreciate it. On that, gentlemen, we will finish with teams and score predictions. Scotia, I'll give you the honour, the privilege of going first.
Oh dear. Right, but it'll be Butland and goals.
Somebody give Scotia a beer, for God's sake.
Somebody, honestly, somebody must have one of the happy pills in their pocket. Give one to Scotia, man. Come on.
Butland and goals. It better be to have it right back, but
it better be.
With these, obviously, because Aaron's completely sold us down the river. I mean, sold us down the river with that challenge, and it's just not worked with him. So it better not be. But you've heard all these rumours that were kicking about over the last day or so about Raskin being out of the team, and like Tav getting told to go and find another club as well. How true are any of them or not? Don't know, but hopefully it's Tav at right back. Giga, I'll get moved back to play right centre back, because why not? Russell Martin doesn't seem to know what he's doing in defence, so it'll be Giga at right centre back, Suter at left centre back, and Magoma. It's going to be Rothwell playing there, which I wouldn't have. I would personally put Barron in there probably over Rothwell, because Rothwell doesn't look fit. I think Diamandi will come back into the team for this one, and he'll probably go with Asgard over Cameron, but I'm a bit up in the air of what I want to go for there. And then up front will be Gassama and Ant-Man, and providing the confirmation gets put through in time for clearance and stuff with Miovski, it'll be him. But then, just because of the way the feeling of things are going, I've got the fear that it won't be Miovski and Danilo will be starting up there.
Oh, God. Honestly, see if I see that starting 11 on Sunday and Danilo starting, I swear it. Honestly, there's just no point. There is literally just no point in it at all. Are you bold enough to give a prediction, Scotia, what you think the score's going to be?
I think Celtic will beat us 2-0. I hope it's 2-0, and it's like 2-0 not with 2 goals scored within the first 20 minutes. Because if that's the case, then it will be a score potentially similar to the Club Brugge game, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think that's the first time we've ever going to do this, by the way. I'm not kidding on, since we started this podcast. Even when we do these ones and we're not feeling particularly confident, and I'm not criticising Scotia, I'm not, because I'm exactly the same, mate. I think Celtic will win 3-0. My team is exactly the same as what you have picked. I don't see it being any different than that. I would probably prefer to see Barron, but I think he'll stick with Rothwell, just walking about the middle of the park looking like a lost boy. But I would probably go with Barron, and Cameron as a shout, but I think he will stick with Asgard. He's been signed to play in these games, I suppose, and then hopefully Miovski gets through. But I would exactly the same. Max Aarons, for me, should never play for Rangers ever again, and he should be shipped back immediately to his parent club. As quickly as can. In fact, I'll be more kind about my score as well. I'll say 3-1, because if Miovski starts, he'll score in his debut, but we'll still get beat. Ali?
Curry's asking for me to keep it staunch and for me to get some extra Magers points and predicting the Rangers win. Sorry, Curry, that is not happening.
Look, by the way, I want to be wrong. I want Rangers to be superb. Of course I want to beat them on Sunday. Of course I do. It's what we go to Ibrox for. It's what we do. But you just can't. I can't see it. And I would be sitting here if I was lying, trying to bang the drum and speak about this and building the battle fever and all this. It's not there. It isn't there. And I don't think you can expect it to be there, be us podcasters or not. So I'd just like to be honest, and I just can't see Rangers winning.
Yeah, my team is the exact same as you guys. Aaron's cannot start for me. If I see his name in the team sheet, I think I'd be more angry seeing his name over bloody Danilo Carney. That's how bad it is.
I agree.
For what he did during the week, unforgivable. No good enough. If he played against Celtic, they would absolutely eat him up. By the way, I think he would shrink at Ibrox on Sunday, and he's not that big, but he'd shrink even more. I just think it'll overwhelm him. I think players like Rothwell in the middle of the park. I know Celtic haven't been great this year, but they've got players that can hurt us. Hatate, McGregor, and whoever else they're playing in that three. I just think they'll overrun him in the middle of the park. I agree with Scotia. Diamandi will come back. Diamandi has been bloody awful this season.
Shocking.
But he did show up against Celtic last season. He kind of turned it on in those games. And for what we've got to pick from, I think he's got to start Diamandi if Raskin's not there. So I agree with the team. I think Asgard will probably come in. He did say about Cameron having a kick in the Bruges game and he played on for 20 minutes. So I want to see more for Asgard. We've seen bits from him. But again, he's coming back for injury. Miovski's got to start. If he's available, he plays for me. The two white guys as well. But sorry, Curry, I need to say what I honestly think it's going to be on Sunday. And the same boat as you, Carney, the exact same scoreline. I think it'll be 3-1 to Celtic, if I'm being blatantly honest. I can see us scoring potentially, but we're just so open at times. And as soon as they bypass that midfield, I just think they can cut us open at the top, especially with Maeda, the new boy they've signed as well, a winger, that he'll be playing as well. And obviously they're looking at a striker as well. Whether he'll be there in time, you don't know. So I just think they've got players that can really hurt us the way we play. And I look at us and can we hurt them the way we play? No, I can't see it. So that's what I think the score will be. It's a telling sign that all three of us have said that. As you say, we don't want to sit here and be negative. I want to go in there and I want to beat them on Sunday. Desperately want to beat them. I want this team to show what Russell Martin's been banging on about. I want him to show on Sunday. Because we'll all be there supporting them, and they bloody owe us one on Sunday, Carney. So it is over to them on Sunday to prove us fans wrong.
Spot on, mate. It is the last chance saloon indeed for Russell Martin on Sunday, and he quite simply has to get it right and prove us all wrong. There is something about this Rangers team. There is something about him. It's going to be interesting one way or another, but hold on to your seats, everybody, because it's going to be a rough ride, I think. It really is. Before we go, Graham, good fan of the pod, got in touch. Just something to do with his good lady as well, who's raising money for Bliss. So he's asked me to share this, and I'll share Palmer's story just now. So they are walking for Delilah, who and for every tiny fighter this September. Palmer will be walking 75 miles to raise money for Bliss, a charity dedicated to supporting premature and sick babies and their families, a cause that's incredibly close to her heart. Her daughter Delilah was born at just 24 weeks and 6 days. She was so small, so fragile, and yet from her first breath she showed the kind of fight and spirit that words can't describe. If only Rangers could do the same thing. Our NICU journey was filled with challenges, setbacks, and incredibly tough days, but through it all, Delilah fought. Even on the hardest days when things felt uncertain, she kept going, and so did we. She's now 13 months later. She's thriving, she's happy, bright, and still every bit as feisty as the day that she was born, and she has our greatest inspiration. So they were lucky to receive amazing care and support, but I know so many, but I know that they do that for so many families. The NICU journey is overwhelming and lonely. That's why I'm walking to give something back to raise awareness and to help Bliss continue their vital work supporting their families like they did for their family. Every step that she takes is for Delilah and for every baby born too soon, too small, or too sick. If you're able to donate, no matter how small, it would mean the world to them. Fantastic cause. I have had both of my kids. My daughter was very briefly in an ICU, but my son was in there when he was born. I know what it's all about. So yes, if you can, I've left the link for the Just Giving page in the description for this podcast. Even if you can spare £1, that would mean a lot to them, and it'd mean a lot to us as well. And the podcast is already donated as well. So good luck, Palmer, and I hope it all goes well, and I hope you raise a lot of money for charity. Scotia, for joining me tonight. Thanks very much, mate. I'll see you you on Sunday.
Yeah, thank you, Carney. It's great to hear there that the Lila's doing a lot better, Palma, and all the best for your charity fundraising efforts. I'll be sure to have a wee look at that, Carney, so definitely send me the link as well. And yeah, it's been slightly cathartic tonight discussing all thing Rangers. Yeah, I'll see you on Sunday. Can't say I'm looking forward to the football though.
I'm going to need to drive to Helens, but I need to give you a cuddle, mate. I think that's how bad I feel for you right now. Ali, thanks very much, mate.
No problem. I actually quite enjoyed tonight. Actually, it's therapeutic at times on this podcast, talking about things. But we say how we say what we think in this podcast. Like I like to think a lot of the guys listen to us because of that. Like I said, I'd love Rangers to prove me wrong on Sunday. I really would. I'd love to come out of Ibrox on Sunday and actually feel good about it for once. But the evidence there doesn't suggest it. But you never know. So, as always, it is over to you, Rangers, and we'll be back with hopefully a smiling post-match on Sunday.
hope so. We will be back on Sunday, win, lose or draw. That's for absolute sure. We'll bring you a reaction, probably from outside the Viceroy, I would imagine. But yeah, until then, please like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We're on the charts to 8,000 subscribers, and the support you have shown us really over this kind of turmoil month that we've just had has been absolutely amazing, generally superb. So I appreciate very much. I appreciate it very much. And if you could like and subscribe, I say that would be absolutely superb. I really hope your team wins on Sunday. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the donations tonight. And yeah, we are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. Cheers, everybody.